I spent $1,000 on the first Descendant. And some of y'all would be like, damn, that's more money than a gacha game. That's more money than I spent on Call of Duty the entire time. Or damn, I thought the first Descendant was a free to play game. Don't get me wrong, the first Descendant is free to play. However, in going through the game, there are a lot of paid for convenience options that you could choose, as well as skins that you could buy. And let me say, the first Descendant has a lot of nice assets. I mean, it has a lot of nice Descendants that you'll be able to play to achieve different gameplay opportunities. Some will be getting materials that you won't be able to normally get without unlocking that particular character. Others can do things like go through all the farming and all of the dungeons and make the time significantly reduced, because Bunny is pretty much the best farming character in the game right now. Or just getting a lot of in-game materials through Enzo, and that's because he's the only one that can open vaults that you can unlock, but you have to get special materials just to unlock some of these things. So now that would lead to the question in the first Descendant, what did I get that was actually worth purchasing in the game? Well, first, I would like to start off with the Battle Pass. Now this is about $10, and this is pretty much the best bang for your buck because it gives you a lot of XP boosts as well as a seasonal weapon and cosmetics that you could utilize within the game. And just for $10 in comparison to a lot of the other things that are offered within this game, this is probably one of the best choices that you can make if you choose to. And let me preference this, you do not have to buy anything in the first Descendant. This is just an educational video just to allow the ones who do choose to buy to know the best options that they should go for. The second thing that I think you should go for, if you have the funds or if you want to, is purchasing a Descendant or an Ultimate Descendant. And as of right now, Ultimate Descendants are really the only things that you want to purchase, because in this game, talking in terms of min-maxing abilities and just getting the best armor to be able to do what is now the end game with hard void intercept battles. However, at the time of this recording, the best Descendant to be able to take on every single intercept boss is actually Haley, which is not an Ultimate Descendant. So at the time of this recording, it's probably a lot cheaper if you do choose to get somebody. I would choose somebody that is not Bunny, because you will get Bunny for free, but somebody that could take on all bosses if you do not go for Sharon first, because Sharon will allow you to get a lot of the materials that aren't offered if you do not clear certain missions a specific way, and that's utilizing her stealth ability. If I were to give you any person that you would want to purchase off the bat just to get you going and started with good materials, it would be Sharon, and then it would be a bossing character if you choose not to farm for one. But what I would recommend to give you a good head start is picking Lepic to start, because his abilities can melt through all of the bosses in the beginning portion of the game, which is the normal version, as well as the first 5 hard intercept battles pretty easily, just using his skill ability, mixing it with a good gun that just will allow him to shine. And once you do that, Bunny will be available via the quest, so you will have your best farming character. And after that, you can either farm for Sharon or, like I said, purchase Sharon, and that will give you the best setup for the best start within the game. The next thing that you will want to purchase is, and not too many of, is inventory slots. And the reason why you'll want that is because as of right now, the biggest struggle that I'm having is managing my inventory slots. And granted, Nexon is doing really well in allowing us to filter junk. However, just going through modules and reactors are such a monotonous task to where I just don't want to pick up anymore. If my inventory is full, I'll just leave all of the reactors on the ground, and some of them could be some of the best reactors that I'll be able to hold and save, but just because you have to go through each of them individually and not all of them are tuned to what you actually need. It's just something that you want to worry about last in any and everything that you're doing in the first Descendant. So your inventory slots fill up quickly because you don't know what's good and you don't know what's not, and then all of a sudden you're just in that lull of, okay, let me purchase more slots. Now what I've recognized is, even though you purchase more inventory slots and gain more inventory slots, whenever you unlock your mastery rank, which you'll receive slots through each mastery rank, which this is free, your slots still fill up with those extra 10 spaces with additional reactors. I think Nexon should rework reactors altogether to make it an easier experience, just like with weapons, so that we could go through each of them. Because what I've noticed is that I lack on my materials to enhance my weapons and to enhance my weapon abilities, being, if you're looking on the screen for the Afterglow right now, Toxic Attack and bonus fire attack versus Colossus, as well as crit rate. I have an abundant amount of reactors because for the most part I don't need to use them, and so once you upgrade them 2 times you can't do anything with them. So I think Nexon should do something like allow you to use that material to re-roll the abilities on your reactor, which one makes it easier for us to dismantle the unwanted reactors, but 2, it will give us a lot better means to utilize that material that's just sitting in my inventory right now. Next is something that most Descendants may not know of just yet, but presets are something that makes it a lot easier to just go in and out of the different classes and external components, as well as the reactors once again, because once you change your character you have to go through all of those reactors, and if you bought 1,000 inventory slots you have to go through 1,000 reactors just to find that one that you like using. Even though the first Descendant has a favorite option, it's just unfavorable system to where it just leads you to want to at least utilize or purchase preset slots, because it makes it a lot easier. Now, some of the things that I think Nexon should do with inventory slots and preset slots is give us the ability to earn these unlocks in game, just like we earn the ability to utilize modules and slot those in, because that gives us an extra source to chase. Because what I have found is, now that I'm in the in-game and I'm deleting the intercept hard bosses in 5 to 10 seconds, it is nothing much for me to do but to just kill a boss, get the materials I want for the gun I want, and then just do that loop over again if I choose to, which it is still fun going through the dungeons now. However, like, once you start getting to min-max territory, you start to ask yourself, what do you want to do this for? Now, with that leads me to, what do I think about the payment model? Well, I don't think this is pay to win. I think this is a very pay for convenience shop, which hence the name convenience, because you could purchase materials that, instead of, if you don't enjoy farming, you could purchase these materials just to make your grind a lot easier. And what I have found is these crystallization catalysts, just to speed up the research, is half the cost just to purchase the catalyst outright and not have to worry about farming it. And it's like, okay, you as Nexon understands that it's hard to farm a lot of these materials because some of them are specific to specific missions. That's why you have less of one and more of others. And so because of that, it leads to a forced deficiency to have to either do those missions even if you don't need those other materials, which are the amorphous materials anymore. And amorphous materials are those things that just give you those parts to get the ultimate Descendants, which at this point would be free, as well as the weapons, which you need 5 of. So it's a big loop, really. And so with that to say, it's not pay to win because you can't purchase these weapons and or mods, which are a good thing, but it's a lot of pay for convenience to where it leads you to want to purchase some of these things. Because why do you want to get a gun to level 40 just for it to not be good anymore until you get that next amorphous material. So, or until you get that next crystallization catalyst or energy activator. And as of right now, for season 1, Nexon has did a lot of good, which this isn't a video to really say what Nexon's doing is bad. This is a video for information for you, the user, and Nexon has actually been really good with updates with their community, because prior to season 1, it was very, very hard to be able to farm experience for the Descendants, and now during season 1, it not only makes it a lot easier to farm for your Descendants, but Nexon has given us an ability, and they have sent us Descendant experience in terms of daily rewards, to where we could utilize an experience boost anytime we want within these next 80 days. And so that will help allow you to force level any of your Descendants that you choose to force level in the course of a night without having to spend your hard-earned cash, just to level your Descendant at a good pace. Another thing I like to mention is the price point for an Ultimate Descendant, at least the Ultimate Descendant bundle, is very expensive. It is $100 per Ultimate Descendant, and that's just the bundle. I believe it's about $50 just to purchase the Ultimate Descendant outright. So for content creators and for people who don't have enough time to farm for it, but they have the funds to just purchase those Descendants just to get rid of that time sink that Nexon is coming for us for, it's $40, which is roughly the price of a game, just to get another Descendant that is a little bit better than the previous Descendant that you farmed. I'd also like to mention that you have to pay for every piece of paint color that you do choose to use for your Descendant within the customization category. So just paying 25 of the premium currency per paint per Descendant costume, and not per Descendant or per account. So I think they should alter that to where if you purchase a color on a Descendant, you can use that for any of your costumes, not just one costume, because it kind of sucks. And they do this with some of their other costumes, to where you basically have to pick a character and it costs 450 of your premium currency per character, not just pay for it once and you can unlock it for all characters. So I think that's a little bit of a money grab, and they should alter that if they want to continue to appeal to the consumer. As I mentioned before, Nexon has also forced necessity for long-term use in terms of inventory item slots, weapon loadout slots, preset slots, storage slots that you have, because I don't even think everybody knows, but they have a bank, and you have to be able to purchase slots for that as well if you don't earn it for your mastery rank, just to be able to house all the extra reactors for the most part that you will be holding in there. And yes, it will be mostly reactors. And just think about whenever more ultimate weapons come out, you just have to get rid of some of the reactors. You don't even know what a good character will need just for that weapon. And the first Descendant also baits you with starter package items, because a lot of these items will be earned in game when you play. And by the time you get past the story campaign, which is going through all of the available maps at the time of this video, which you do see on screen now, and all of the missions within those maps, you will have enough materials to equal out what you see within the shop as a starter pack. So I think it's more of a waste of money, because you get the majority of those mods and materials early on in the game. So with that being said, what do I think should be changed with the first Descendants premium track? Well, I think they should add trading, which they are looking into, to allow you to trade premium currency to be able to purchase different things like skins. I do think they should alter that skin sales pitch, because right now it's a little bit more of a money grab, and Nexon do know what they're doing with the skins that they're selling. I can tell you that. They should be able to have more of a variety to appeal to all audiences, less so one demographic. And they have already started implementing this, but provide other means within the game to gain experience a lot faster on a lot faster rate, to make it more advantageous for you to actually do more tasks or more activities other than just one particular activity. Because as of right now, for me, I do Cooper Mine for basically gold, as well as Descendant and weapon experience, just to force level some of my characters for videos. And in doing so, I have 40 of one material that I'm more than likely not going to use because I have my Endurance Legacy. Now, I can utilize this to get the catalysts, and I can use it to get the energy activators, but I won't really need to do that until I get rid of all of these other ones to get the other items and weapons that I want to do. Because as you could tell, in playing this game, you want to be efficient when you play. You don't want to keep farming one thing, because you want to be able to make it a lot easier for you to kill bosses, because you see all of these YouTube videos of people killing the bosses that you're struggling with in 15, 20 seconds, 8, 10 seconds, and it takes you the whole 10 minutes to kill Pyromaniac. And as an early game player, a little bit frustrating, and that's what makes you want to lean towards purchasing any of these items to begin with. I've said this before, I do think they need to have different ways to earn Descendants, as well as different ways to earn Descendant slots, as well as inventory slots other than just mastery rank, because you're not using any of the purple weapons. You just go on Bunny and do the same monotonous tasks over and over just to force level those weapons to 40, because that's the only way, which is leveling different weapons for the first time to 40, not the same weapon over and over. To level, it's just get Bunny, pick up a weapon, utilize her AoE, and just run through each of the dungeons. And you're not even actually using the weapons in that aspect. So is it really fun to use those weapons? That's why I also think they should look into tweaking the purple weapons. And this isn't a part of the payment, but I do also think they should add more variety to the content. They did introduce invasion dungeons, and I am a little bit upset that they nerfed the invasion dungeons, because this is just going to have Nexon come in a little bit more of a safe way in upcoming content, that nothing's really going to continue to challenge us to utilize more builds or other things within the game. So it's just going to be, once you get all of the materials and all of the abilities, you just doing the same thing, killing the same bosses as quickly as possible. And trust me, that will get old quick. And if you want more First Descendant content, like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.